Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakash, double honor, son to the elder apostles, a great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, I was looking up I typed in the God of the Edomites, right? And it came out here as Kwas, right? And also went down to look at the so-called questions where it says people also ask, and I saw this. What does the Heavenly Father say about Edomites, right? Because, well, I'm going to get to this. Because this is very funny here. A lot of lies and just misleading type of information is going around. Now, I'm going to click on this word Kwas right here, which is their entity, the God that they worship, right, as the Edomites. Edomites. Later, Kwas, okay, blah. But they also often say Idumeans. Why? They want to water down this word so that it gets lost in the translation. Because this is the original word in the English. And this is then the English word of the Greek meaning of this. Because it says here Idumeans. Edom. Edom and Idumea are two related but distinct terms. So it says here, that's what they're trying to make you think. But if you go to the Bible, dictionary, and you check out the word Idumea, Edom. It is the same word. Edomite, Idumean, descendant of Esau, land of Edom, Idumea. They just changed the word. They translated it from the Greek into the English, right? Because they're trying to trick you, right? Idumean, as onderdeel van Judea. Edom, Hebreeuws. Edom. Is het gebied? That's in the Dutch, by the way. What happened to the Idumeans? Edom, Idumea. Idumea. It just goes to Edom, man. Alternative forms. Yeah, but it's of Idumea. It says here, or pertaining to ancient Idumea or Edom. That's it. They're giving you the runaround. That shows you that they have a snake tongue. They're not straightforward with it because they're running away from it. Now it says here, Kwas, right? Was the national god of the Edomites. He was the Idumean rival of Yahweh, right? Which then therefore goes to Yahweh. And this is, man, you do have the word Yahweh here. Well, yeah. I can't even read the rest that good, but anyway. Right, but the point is here. Now, this is their God. This thing over here, as you can see, the eagle above their head, of its head. And it is a female, one of their female idols, which they call goddess or whatever. And if you check out good the history, you have the Egyptian eagles. Yeah, they had eagles too, but then Esau, the American eagle, and all their kingdoms have this. You had the Egyptians use the eagle also, but they have had other animals and stuff like that, like the scarab, like the beetle. So they had different ones. But the main top symbols of these Edomites is the eagle. You have the American eagle. You have the Russian eagle, which is the coats of arms. So it says the double-headed eagle is the symbol most strongly associated with Russia. Which this is their eagle. This is their coats of arms, right? As you can see, this is what they represent. You might have thought the bear. Yeah, that's I think that was recent. Now you have the Greek eagle, right? It says here the eagle came to be used as an emblem of several rulers, from the Achaemenids or something like that, man. I don't know. It's this over here. From the Persian Empire, Iran, the Iranians and stuff like that, right? Which is here, this location. They kind of use it also, but they also use the lion and then a eagle body and stuff like that, which is this thing. This is just one of their symbols. From those people to Alexander the Creep, and this thing over here, the Adushi, and finally the Roman emperors. So they use that also, right? It says here, Jupiter lightning became the chief symbol, Aquila, of the Roman legions. And Aquilia is the bird. The Aquilia eagle. Wait. Motherfucking piece of shit. Yeah, this goes into it. And sorry, I think it was Roman. This thing was the Roman, their thing, symbol. And of course you have then the Roman eagle. I already showed that, which is the Aquila. This is the Roman symbol. And this is the Nazi symbol, which they still follow unto this day. That's why you have all these, especially Marvel characters, fighting against Nazism. They keep on bringing it back into remembrance. But things like this, they don't talk about. Nor, you should ask yourself also, if Esau is the brother of Jacob, right, the bloodline of Abraham to Esau, according to the Hebrew Bible, Esau is the progenitor of the Edomites and the elder brother of Jacob, the patriarch of the Israelites, which is Jacob, right? Jacob and Esau were the sons of Isaac and Rebekah, and the grandsons of Abraham and Sarah. Of the twins, Esau was the first to be born, and Jacob following, holding his heel. So it seems that this is a very important character in the Bible, because it's with the most important character of the Bible, well, the more important character of the Bible, which is Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And yet his twin brother Esau is never mentioned commercially. The only way that we know it is because of the elder apostles on down teaching about them. Or else we would not know. Who's Esau? We not really heard of him. Right. So, now it says here. Let me just straight get to the point, because there's a lot of confusing nonsense up in here. I looked it up and I almost kind of got a headache because of the foolishness that's in here, right? Idumean names and including the names of Edomite kings. Why are you using two different words? To confuse you, that's why. Many Idumean names and Edomite kings in the same sentence. Two different words in the same sentence. Okay. Now it says here, unlike the chief idol of the Ammonites, which is Molech, another Molech. Well, you have different, how do you call it again? These Hamites used to worship that too. And Moab, the Shechem nonsense, refers from explicitly naming Edomite questing. Yeah, I don't even want to name their gods, but this is for edification's sake. So yeah, it just sounds filthy coming off the tongue, rolling off the tongue like that. The omission may be explained according to some scholars by assuming there were close similarities between, right, that would have made rejection of the latter difficult. Okay, multiple poetic refrains in the Hebrew Bible claim that Yahweh embarked in some form. It's just filthy saying it, but going on from Seir. So it says here, he embarked in some form from Seir in the region of Edom. He embarked from there. Embarked, go abroad, began, right? A course of action. So he began from Edom. Going on. Recently, the view has been advanced that was originally a Kenite whose cult spread north of Midian to the Israelites. So it came later on to them through Edom, because this is their god, whatever, but they have another god, which is here, Edom. When I typed in Edom in Wikipedia, then they give you all this. Trust me, man, there's a lot of garbage up in it. So it says, okay, religion, right? The nature of Edomite religion is largely unknown before their conversion to Judaism. Did you get that? Let me read it again. Let me take away the color. The nature of Edomite religion is largely unknown before their conversion to Judaism by the Hasmoneans. Do you understand what they just told you? They told you that the Edomites, their religion, is largely unknown before their conversion to Judaism. So it shows you that the Edomites are these people. They show you right there in that text. But the funny part is, once you start reading on, they're going to confuse the stuffings out of you. Epigraphical evidence suggests that the national god of Edom was this Quas thing, also known as blah blah. Since Quas is invoked in the blessing formula. What? Is invoked in the blessing formula in letters and appears in personal names found in ancient Edom as close relatives of other Levantine Semites. Levantine Semites. I've never heard of that. So I looked it up, and it says Canaan. So it says here, as close relatives of other, basically Canaan. So other Semites. Canaan is not a Semite. Oh, sorry, here. No? Here. So these people was Semitic speaking civilization. So Canaan was a Semitic speaking civilization and region in the ancient Near East during the late 2nd millennium BC. What? Let's go back over here in the book of Genesis chapter 10. Genesis chapter 10 verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. He is not a relative of Esau, because Esau came around here. Esau didn't even exist, by the way. He existed only in Genesis 25, and this is Genesis 10, verse 6. And then it says here, these places were made. And then it goes to verse 21. And unto Shem, these are the people that speak that would be called Shemitic, or Semitic, but Shemitic. Semitic is the same thing. Right, unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, which goes into Hebrew, the brother of Japheth the elder, which is Shem. Shem is the elder because he came first. Noah, and then Shem is the first, Ham is the second, and Japheth is the third. Right? Even to him were children born. Yeah, unto Shem. And you had Arphaxad, then you had Peleg, and then if you read in Genesis 11, then it goes from Arphaxad, to Salah, to Eber, which is Hebrew, Ibar, actually, Ibar, which is Hebrew, Peleg, Reu, Segur, Noar, Terah, or Terah, which is the father of, so it says here, Nahor is the father of Terah, right? Let me read it. And Nahor lived 29 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. So Abram named his son after his grandfather. And also Nahor was also a city, a place. So it might seem a lot of, you have a lot of so-called confusing things actually, but if you check it out, it's very hard to understand sometimes. But you had places you had men that had names of places, and you had places that was named after men back in the ancient day, and you had men that had grandsons named after them. And therefore, when you read the genealogy, you'd be like, hey, wait a minute. I saw this guy right here. How can he be his own son? That's not him. That's his grandson. Right. So it goes on to here, Abraham, right? And then from Abraham, guess who came out of that? Isaac. And then Isaac and Rebekah got Jacob and Esau. So when they're telling you that they are close relatives to the Levantine Seminites, they're bullshitting you, right? Anyway, they may have worshipped such God as El, which is Allah, Baal, which is the golden calf, nowadays known as the golden calf, which is the heifer. Tobit 1 and 5. It says here, now all the tribes which together revolted, and the house of my father Naphtali sacrificed unto the heifer Baal. A heifer is a cow. And it is the... Are they playing? Oh, they removed it. Oh! Okay. Everybody that saw the videos that I made before this, you saw that Google had it. The heifer Baal. They showed you this. Let me go to Yahoo, of course, because amen. Using Google now is when I want to do research or something like that, I don't use Google because they're bullshitting. It's quick and some stuff like that. But anyway, this is the heifer Baal. It's the same thing that they worship in Wall Street. And in Wall Street, they also have a girl in front of the cow on Wall Street, by the way. Yeah, which represent child sacrifice. Why would you do that? Because they was given their children to Molech back in the days. Here, as you can see. So it's all symbolic, done, backhanded. But that Edomite that I just showed, his website, he puts two and two together, as will other people. But yeah, going on. So it says here, the oldest biblical tradition, yeah, all these nonsense idols. The oldest biblical tradition placed Yahweh as the deity of southern Edom and may have originated in Edom, Seir, Teman, Sinai before being adopted in Israel and Judah. Did you get that? So, so it says that, basically it says that the Edomites had the Heavenly Father first, before it was adopted by Israel and Judah. There is a Jewish tradition, so there's a lot of snake tongue shit going on around here. There's a Jewish tradition stemming from the Talmud, their book, that the descendants of Esau would eventually become the Romans, and to a larger extent, all Europeans. You see how they're playing around? So they speak in truth and lies at the same time. But I'm going to get to this because it says before being adopted in Israel and Judah. I'll get to that through the scriptures, because they don't reference you no scriptures. No scriptures. No, whatsoever. Going on. So it says here, Josephus states that Costavarus, appointed by Herod to be governor of Idumea and Gaza. Why don't you just say Edom? Trickery again. Was descended from the priest of the whom the Idumeans had formerly served as a god. So the Edomites. Here comes it again, Edomite. This guy here, Victor, describes an text, archaeology. But I know it doesn't say that, archaeology, whatever. The text may well be Edomite. I gotta really sit down and pronounce this word. Reflecting on the language, literal, and literature, and religion of Edom. And this was one of their so-called, the Edomite goddess figure in the Israel Museum. With horns on it and stuff like that. Their female god. This goddess, Quitim, whatever. They keep on changing the names. You have to understand that in order to confuse you even more. And the Hasdonian dynasties, because I also checked out the Hasdonians, because I was thinking like, okay, Hasdonians gave you that thing. Okay, cool. So it says here, the Hasdonian dynasty had survived for 103 years before yielding to the Herodian dynasty, which we know that he was around in the time of Yahweh Shai, because he's trying to kill Yahweh Shai. They calling him Herod the Great devil. The installation of Herod the Great, an Edomite, because it says Idumean, but when you click on that word Idumean, it says Edom. Why are they doing it? They're confusing you. That's why. They create confusion. The Heavenly Father said, 1 Corinthians 14:33, for Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints. So when you see you have a lot of Israelites coming together and then fighting against each other, you know that the Lord is not there. He's not there. So going back to over here, it says that as king in 37 BC, I'm not going to read the other one, this is the other letter, made Judea a Roman client state and marked the end of the Hasdonian dynasty. But the point is that they show you that he's an Edomite. And yet they use the word Idumean. Go figure. Why not go into the scriptures? Now, like I said, I checked it out, the God of the Edomites. And then I scrolled down, of course, and then what does the Heavenly Father say about Edomites? It's important to note that the Heavenly Father, when speaking to the Israelites, referred to Edom as your brothers, the sons of Esau. Now, okay, Deuteronomy 2:4. The same meaning can be found in an expression, you shall not abhor an Edomite, for he is your brother. Deuteronomy 23:8 and actually 7. Okay, so they associate that with that. So now we'll go here. Now it says here, Deuteronomy 2 and of course 4. And commanded thou people, saying, ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Israel, Esau, which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you. Take good heed unto yourselves, therefore. Meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land. No, not so much as a foot breadth. Because I have given Mount Seir unto Esau for a possession. Okay, cool, cat. You can read the rest for yourself if you desire. Deuteronomy 25, verse 17. Remember Amalek. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt. How he met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of thee. He murdered us. Even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not Yahweh. So because he did this, therefore it shall come to pass, when Yahweh thy power had given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, so when we are at ease, in the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it. That's why the Lord got angry at ex-King Saul when he didn't do that. Now, way before that, it was already prophesied by Balaam, if I'm correct. You know the story of Balaam and Balak? Balaam and Balak. You can read the whole chapter for yourself if you can, if you find the time. Now, it says here, Deuteronomy 24 and 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he shall perish forever. So Amalek is from Esau. So clearly these Edomites, they're going to perish forever, right? The Amalekites, let's say that, of the Edomites. Now when it says like thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, it actually means thou shalt not abhor a Syrian. Because Laban was a Syrian, and therefore his sister Rebekah was a Syrian. And Rebekah was married unto Isaac. And Leah and Rachel were also Syrian. We got their wives from there. So that's why we was not supposed to abhor them like that. But even if it does say Edom, let's say it say Edom, right? Because they're always trying to confuse you with Idumeans and Edomites. Oh, they're that type of nonsense. Let's say it was Edomites, right? Then the Lord said, wait. Oh, not this one. Right. Then the Lord said, didn't I put it? Wait, I don't think I put it. Well, I think I put it somewhere, but I can't find it right now. Yeah, I did. I remember it now. Just came in my head. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, whatever. Malachi chapter 1, verse 2. I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith Yahweh? Yet I love Esau. Ooh. Oh boy. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I, the Heavenly Father himself, will throw them down, basically, throw them down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. All the people round about shall call these Edomites the border of wickedness. Everywhere they go and are, there is the border of wickedness. And, so this is what the people shall also say, and the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever. So that's one case. So that there goes this nonsense concerning that the Heavenly Father was with the Edomites before he was with the Israelites, because he hates them. is mentioned 2 times in the scriptures, by the way. How he hates, well, more often, but explicitly, he said, I hate them. I hated Esau and all the Edomites. Romans chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Heavenly Father because he loves one and he hates another? The Heavenly Father forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So he does what he wants. Now it says here, because they were saying that sorry. Now it says here, with the Yahweh and quest and stuff like that. Let me read this. Yahweh was originally a Kenite god whose cult spread north of Midian to the Israelites. According to this approach, Quas might possibly have been a title for this Yahweh. I don't want to say it, but anyway, let me just be trying to be normal. Let me bear with it. Rather than a name, right? A further point connecting Yahweh with Quas, aside from their common origin in that territory, is that the Edomite cult of the latter shared characteristics of the former. Thus we find that Doeg the Edomite had no problem in worshiping Yahweh, and he is shown to be at the house of the Jewish sanctuaries. We know that the Doeg, he actually murdered the priests, which was mentioned here, Doeg the Edomite. 1 Samuel 21:7. Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before Yahweh, and his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. And he was the one that murdered all the, let's see, 40, which is 40 is 85 persons. This is 80. And he murdered 85 priests in one day, as you can read it here. So that shows you how holy he was. Right? Like you love the Lord, right? He just followed after Saul, because Saul told him go do it, because he was a wicked piece of feces also. So it says here, let me read it again. Additionally, supplication of Yahweh is not uncommon where mentions of